Hey, so how is the housing market? How did COVID-19 affect it? How did 2020 compare to 2019? I'm answering all those questions and more in this market update. All right, so we're going to look at 5 main categories in order to figure out what the market is doing. I'm going to do some cardio, but the 5 categories are inventory, days on market, units sold, sales volume, and also just an overall comparison between 2019 and 2020. So let's start with inventory. Housing market inventory can be described a lot like groceries or bourbon on a shelf. It essentially answers the question of, if everything that was on the shelf was sold, how long would it take for that to happen? In terms of bourbon, it could be a matter of hours. But in terms of housing inventory, we describe it in a matter of months. So more of the story here is that in December 2019, we had about 3 months of inventory on the market in the Lexington area, whereas in 2020, same month, about a month and 10 days of inventory. Yet the housing market was booming. How do you account for that? And that's when we look at sales volume. Think about volume like a shopping cart. You get all of your groceries, you put them in there, and the cashier will ring them up to tell you a total. Sales volume with the housing market is very similar. All of the houses, whether they're single family or townhouses, condos, you add them all up, and the total you get is the sales volume. All right, so now that you got sales volume, 2019 sales went up in 2020 by 22%, nearing about $280 million worth of home sales in December 2020. Like, it's pretty record-breaking. So basically what that means is people are paying higher prices for homes even though there was less inventory on the market. To make matters a little hotter, you had an average days on market in December 2019 of 53 days, whereas last year, average days on market were 19. So you're talking about making pretty important decisions in way less time if you were looking to buy a house. If you want to talk about units sold, you got almost 1,300 sold in the month of December 2020, which is up about 22% from 2019. And if you just want to zoom out between the 2 years of 2019 and 2020, where we have a global pandemic, you had just under $3 billion of homes sold in the Lexington Bluegrass area and $3.5 billion of homes sold in the year of COVID-19. Okay, so that was a lot of explanation and physical exercise to get to what conclusions? Conclusion number 1 would be that COVID, as difficult as it has been to adapt to this indirectly and certainly directly, the one thing that it has done in the housing market, at least here in the Lexington Bluegrass area, is to basically tell sellers, hey, I just want to chill. So there have been less houses on the market. However, the demand has been high. We've had a record December for the amount of money spent on houses in total, the amount of units sold, the amount of individual houses sold, a shortening in all of our supply, as I've already said. And then of course, we've even had homes that are on the market for less of a time than what is traditional for, or at least what is historic for, the winter time. So what does that mean for you as a buyer? That means you have to be on your P's and Q's. You're essentially playing a game of musical chairs here. You have several buyers, let's call it 50, and you have 4 chairs. Everybody wants to sit down, but if you are trying to tie your shoes, or you don't even have your shoes on, or you're moving too slow, you're not going to have a place to sit. And so how does that translate into the real world? That means being pre-approved. There's a link in my bio or in the comment section below if you're watching this on YouTube. It means understanding very clearly what you need and what you want, because you don't have the luxury of time to see a house and then be like, I'm going to think about it for a few days. If that's the house that fits your needs and most of your wants, then your strong consideration needs to be, how much money are you going to offer and what are your terms of your offer? You just don't have the luxury of time to to wait because the house will sell. There are not enough houses, and there are plenty of people who want them, from $140,000 all the way to $250,000. And then even once you leave the $250,000 mark, there's a little bit more inventory. However, it's still just as competitive because that's just what it is. So in any case, if you want to talk about this more, you can reach me. There's links all over whatever platform you're watching this on. But I hope it helps because I think it's a question that people ask often. I get it from realtors that I know outside of this state. I get it from friends and family. How's the market? The market is hot, and going into the springtime, I would expect that it's only going to be hotter. So buyers, get yourselves ready, and sellers, enjoy the advantages, I guess. And to both, call me. Peace. Hey, so thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, your questions, tag someone, or leave a comment below.